What's up everyone, it's Vid here. Welcome back to my channel. I got another vlog for y'all today. Today's vlog is going to be all about my experiences with living in Charlotte so far. So without further ado, let's get started. I've been living in Charlotte for about 2 months now, and I can confidently say that it's been an amazing experience so far. The people in Charlotte are really friendly and welcoming, and I've made some really good friends here. In addition to all that, I think the city has so much to do on both weekends and after work, and it's also a very safe city compared to a lot of other big cities I've been to. I find that even when I'm walking home late at night, I've never felt unsafe. Compared to the other cities I've lived in the past, Charlotte is definitely a more high-end city. There are a lot of high-end stores in the South End area. In addition to that, there's also a McLaren showroom in South End, and I see supercars drive down South Boulevard on a daily basis. One thing I really like about living in Charlotte is the great weather we get. Now, you still get your four seasons in Charlotte, and the summers are going to be really brutal. In addition to that, North Carolina does see a fair bit of rain. However, most days I've been here have been sunny and clear, with temperatures ranging from the low 70s all the way up to the high 80s. It does get above 90 degrees sometimes in summer, but in the winter months, it typically doesn't go ridiculously low compared to a lot of cities up north, which is definitely a welcoming change. Since I started my job as a software engineer, most of my days have been remote, and I absolutely love working from home. The fact that I don't have to wake up so early in the morning to get ready and to drive to work has been great, since now I can eat proper breakfast. I also love the fact that if I'm ever feeling really stressed out at work, I can take a nap since my bed is right next to my desk. I also love using my standing desk since I've upgraded my setup in a way such that it can increase productivity as much as possible. Now, the best part about working from home is the fact that with the awesome weather in Charlotte, I can work by the pool most of my days. And if I'm not really feeling the pool, I got 2 conference rooms. In addition to all that, there are a lot of places just around my apartment that I could go just to relax, as I find that if I'm working in one place for too long, I start to feel unproductive, so I definitely need a change of scenery as much as I can. It is definitely possible to do all this in the office as well. However, it's not nearly the same since you have a lot more options when you're remote. Now, I will say that even though I love working from home, there are definitely some downsides to that. The first being is that it's really easy to get distracted at home, especially for me since my iPad and my Xbox are within arm's reach. I also find that working at the office has allowed me to be a lot more productive since I'll be able to work one-on-one with my teammates in person, which is a lot different from just meeting them over a Zoom call. I find that oftentimes meeting people over Zoom calls to work on code just doesn't really work well for me since I need to be working hands-on one-on-one in order to understand since I'm a very hands-on learner. With all that being said, I definitely do look forward to the day where I do get to work in person a lot more often, and I will definitely be working in person as much as I can as I find it a lot better than working at home. I absolutely love living in my South End apartment. I find that it's a perfect location and there are tons of great restaurants within walking distance as well as many great stores within walking distance as well. I also really like the amenities that I have, as I have one of the best gyms in the South End area in terms of apartment gyms, and the pool is absolutely great too. Every Saturday there's typically a pool party at the apartment, which I find is a great way to meet people, and I've met a lot of really cool people just by hanging out by the pool on weekends. I will say that the main downside about living in South End is the price. I was really lucky to secure my apartment for a relatively low price, especially considering that now, if you want to get a one-bed apartment, a lot of units are starting in the 2000s range, and a lot of studios are starting around $1,600. I would suggest that you should move in either January, February, or March to get the best pricing on housing, as typically after April, the prices go up significantly since a lot of people tend to move in the summer months. A great thing about living in Charlotte, specifically if you're living in either the South End area or Uptown, is that there are so many good restaurants. In fact, all you gotta do is look up good restaurants near me, Charlotte Uptown, or good restaurants near me, Charlotte South End, and you're just gonna see a whole list of great restaurants. In South End, I say that my favorite restaurants are Leroy Fox, Hawkers, Southbound, and Indico. Now, in addition to all those restaurants, there are so many other good restaurants here that I just can't list them all. However, those are the restaurants that I typically eat at the most. In addition to all the great restaurants that you can walk to, if you're feeling lazy, just open up DoorDash or Grubhub and you're gonna find so many good options here. This city is great for foodies. In addition to all those great food options in Charlotte, there are so many good breweries here too. The ones I visit the most are Triple C, Sycamore, and Suffolk Punch. I would say that Suffolk Punch is probably my favorite one just due to the variety that they have. Now let's talk about the different transportation options you have within the Charlotte area. For me, I typically use the scooters as I find this the most fun way to explore the city without spending a lot on Ubers. In addition to the scooters, there's also bikes for rent, as well as a light rail that goes between South End and Uptown, as well as some other places across Charlotte. Now, outside of downtown, you're definitely going to want to drive there, and this city's public transportation is not the best. And in addition to that, Uber and Lyft are getting quite expensive. So I'd say if you have a car, you're definitely going to want to bring a car to Charlotte. And if you don't have a car, I highly recommend getting a car as soon as possible. Now, I currently don't have a car, but it's very high up on the list of items I need to buy, and I plan on getting a car as soon as I possibly can. Charlotte is one of the fastest growing cities in the United States, and about 120 people move to Charlotte every day. Why are so many people moving here, you might ask? Well, there are many reasons. Some of those reasons include that the quality of life in Charlotte is great, the weather is great, there is so much to do in Charlotte, and in addition to all that, the job market is also booming. Uptown is home to many major companies such as Bank of America, Truist, and Duke Energy. There's also a large amount of tech startups that are coming to the Charlotte area. Here's a list of the top 200 biggest cities in the US by population. It should be no surprise that New York City is ranked 1 yet again. Charlotte is currently ranked 14 on the list, putting it ahead of both San Francisco and Seattle. Now let's compare Charlotte to some other big cities in the US. Looking at Charlotte versus Pittsburgh, we see that Charlotte is 13% more expensive to live in compared to Pittsburgh. However, the housing costs are almost 60% higher in Charlotte than compared to Pittsburgh. Compared to Philly, Charlotte is about 2% cheaper. However, housing is almost 50% more expensive here. Comparing Atlanta to Charlotte, Charlotte is about 8% less expensive, and the housing is about 12% less expensive. The last topic I'd like to talk about in today's video is how I manage my finances. Now, I'm certainly not the best person to ask when it comes to managing finances, as I've never really had any proper knowledge about it before I moved to Charlotte. One thing I've been doing is creating a spreadsheet that has my total income, my income after tax, and my monthly income, and this has helped me get an idea of how much I spend each month. Now, these numbers are not an accurate representation of my financial situation, however, they are very close to the actual numbers. Another tool that I've been using is Mint, and Mint is great for both beginners and those who are well versed in financial health. Mint shows all the expenses I've made and gives me trends based off of my monthly spending. This has definitely helped me plan for future months, and another great thing about Mint is that it has built-in credit monitoring. Typically, at most restaurants and stores, I tend to use Apple Pay, so for that reason, I signed up for the Apple Card. The great thing about the Apple Card is, in addition to having no annual fees, it also helps me pay less interest over time. It also has some great cashback offers, such as 2% cashback when you use Apple Pay, and with select vendors, you can get up to 3% cashback. I recently signed up for this new credit card called Bilt. Bilt is a card that is designed to help you earn points just by paying your rent. There are many great reward partners that Bilt is partnered with, and the best part is that Bilt also gets you points on travel and dining and has no annual fee. Now, the cost of living in Charlotte is going up significantly due to the massive amount of growth the city is experiencing. And I find that the two things that are hurting me the most financially are eating out and making impulse purchases. Now, I can certainly stop eating out as much. However, I don't really have time to cook as I don't really have long lunch breaks. And in addition to that, I still see myself making a lot of impulse purchases. Making impulse purchases is a lot easier thanks to Afterpay and Affirm and many other monthly payment options. Now, I don't think these monthly payment options are a bad thing. However, they definitely make it easier for me to make impulse purchases without having buyer's remorse. I'd say that reducing impulse purchases and cooking at home as much as you can are definitely going to help you save money in the long term. So, overall, living in Charlotte has been a great experience so far, except for a few minor inconveniences. I definitely look forward to seeing what the future holds. If you guys like this video and want to see more content like this in the future, you know what to do. Hit that like button and make sure you subscribe. That's all I have for today, folks. See you guys next time.